Reminder, city council and staff are not permitted to respond to comments or questions during the public comment period in accordance with Fremont Municipal Code Section 2-103. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person and shall not contain topics included on this evening's agenda. So at this time, if you would like to speak, there's a sign-in sheet up here, as well as comment cards in the back, and we'll go ahead and get started. First, we'll have Rich Rader, if you want to state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Richard Rader. Oh, I'm at 1039 North Main Street, Fremont, Nebraska. Mayor Spellberg, President Jensen, City Council. Very simple issue. Sunday, my wife and I traveled around Fremont in that wonderful rainy afternoon, just sightseeing. We took pictures of different properties. The Gerbil Run, as it's lovingly known in this town, or the Lanahan Walkway, a couple other things. Nevertheless, I posted pictures on Facebook that evening of the Lanahan Gerbil Run, and I brought those aids, those visual aids for you to see, but pictures I posted. Well, I'm going to read a couple of comments that came on my Facebook. Robin Fergus said, it would be cool if they left the concrete supports in the park, very sculptural. And to that, a couple of people responded. Jacqueline Rathjen, who is here this evening, also a neighbor, she made a few comments about that, and it went on and on from there. I don't know if you've seen any of that. And it sparked my interest also, because the newspaper has been reporting that the property, the Gerbil Run, we demolished. And that both times that I've seen that in the front page of the Tribune, I was a little bit shaken in the sense that the word demolished kind of struck me. I don't know why it would be demolished. Removed might have been a better choice, I feel, because that property, that Lanahan Walkway, is totally constructed in single pieces. It wasn't built up there. It was brought in after those forms were constructed. They're all reinforced slabs, the base, the sides, and the uprights. It's very simple. I'm not talking about the yellow and roundabouts on the top. Those were constructed because we lived in Fremont at the time and we saw that being done. Our daughter was going to school there. Nevertheless, so then when this lady mentioned, Robin said, why can't we repurpose some of that as art, in a sense, like in the park, just leave it there, just re-establish it. That struck my curiosity and my creativity in a sense, and thought, why not? And for that reason is why I'm here, just to bring it to the attention of the city, by the way of the council, that is possible, instead of taking those somewhere else, maybe they've been already repurposed or they're going to be placed somewhere else in this community. There's no reason to destroy any of it, any of the concrete. It's all reinforced slabs of straight formed concrete. And I'm assuming they will just remove them piece by piece. Those vertical uprights, there are 6 of them, and I think they're in 3 different sizes. Nevertheless, they are sitting on footings. They are not attached, other than just mortar. And so once the upper deck is taken off of those standards, they could be picked up and moved anywhere and used in a creative way. And when I say creative, now it's your job. Thank you for your time. And I think maybe this next lady would like to speak.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Rathjen. I go by Jackie. My maiden name is Clark. I grew up in Fremont, so I'm a native. I currently live in Arlington, but I am moving back in 2025. I was one of the first students to use the Skywalk Gerbil Run when I entered into junior high. So to me, it's a nostalgic kind of Fremont landmark, and I understand most of it's going away. And I do respect what Rich had to say. And, when he posted his social media, I also added my comment, and I did get to speak with the Fremont Public Schools Assistant Superintendent. So I do have a request in to see if we can save at least one of the column structures. And it doesn't matter which one, just as long as I can save one or we can save one. I don't know who else is supporting me on this cause, but I had a couple of comments that came to me over social media because I had posted an active event that people could participate in on the Fremont, Nebraska High School alumni page. I have Wendy Howard, who is a former graduate of 1990, and she said Cedar Rapids, Iowa has a lot of mural art opportunities for the public, worth looking at for resources to show the council what is possible to keep the area cultural active. Another former graduate from 1985 would be Jeannie Nielsen. Fremont is a creative arts district also, isn't it? This would be a great way to add more art. And then one other commenter on that event page, I get the nostalgia some people have for it concerning the Gerbil Run, and maybe a remaining support or two will be okay for the mural art if it does well and depicts Fremont history, which is my initial energy and creativity for that. The goals are stated, and I did share them with Mayor Spellerberg. So if you need that for reference, he can probably email you what I sent him, which is the same thing as this. As far as I need to set my cane down here. I have read and seen many opinions about the topic I bring before you, the city council members here, and I respect those individuals and for their input and opinions. Firstly, I do not intend to save all column structures. I'm focused on one or two and that are specifically within the park parameters. And as I discussed earlier with Mayor Spellerberg, thank you for that. My proposal to the city council this evening is also to the tourism officials. I have sent an email to the executive director for the Fremont Tourism. And like I said, I've already spoken with the assistant superintendent for the Fremont schools, and I'm awaiting to hear back from him. He is going to be speaking with the architect and structural engineers to see if there's a way that we can save one. I mean, I would like two, but like I told Mayor Spellerberg, if we get one, that's a win for me. As far as once a decision has been made, myself and other city officials within Fremont will and can be taking additional steps towards securing the means necessary to complete the project that I have in here that I can bring out. I do kindly request your support on this endeavor as we move forward with the necessary steps to bring this proposal to fruition. Your input and insistence is invaluable and greatly appreciated as I work towards preserving a piece of our history for future generations to enjoy. And I also would like to note, because I know there's just general opinion, I respect and support the Fremont School District with the Skywalk structure demolition to be completed in the coming weeks, no matter the outcome of this project proposal. There is one thing I would like to let you know. Again, I'm a 1986 graduate. And I did state that I'm one of the first generations to use that. I am also a former family member of the John C. Fremont Days co-founder legacy, Sherry Beam Clark. She's no longer the Clark. I still am. And I kind of follow in her footsteps. She was a great inspiration for me growing up. And I tagged along with her when she did the May Museum, storytelling and stuff. And I've kind of picked that up on my own. So I do have a background for this kind of stuff. My wheelhouse is stated on the email that I sent Mayor Spellerberg also. So you guys are welcome to look at that. And I just hope that we can see something come of this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Larry Marvin.
Good evening. My name is Larry Marvin, 1945 Morningside Road, apartment 124, Fremont. And I have a continuation of my win-win explanation. A couple months ago, I introduced the win-win idea. We cut expenses. This capitalistic idea means that we have money in the bank. About 6 months ago, I told our city attorney that this bathroom did not meet ADA standards. So I am of the opinion that is still not ADA standards. On a later date, I suggested suspending our city attorney and the head of our power plant and distribution department until all 8 restrooms in this building are up to ADA standards. And when we capitalists cut jobs, then the money is in the bank. So we do not have to ask where will we get the money to update ADA standards, because we have the money in the bank. If we are paying our attorney $100 per hour and a single grab bar costs $24, then we only need to suspend our attorney for 15 minutes because we now have saved $25. However, if we were paying him $200 an hour, then we only need to suspend him without pay and benefits for 7.5 minutes because we've saved the $24 that needed for the vertical grab bar. However, if we want 3 grab bars in each of the restrooms in this building, it'll probably cost about $1,200. The same type suspension, of job and benefits of our possibly highest paid employee, the power plant department head, to install 40-inch wide doors for wheelchairs to pass through these wide doors, and other updates when we need to make, then we need to make his suspension long enough to save about $8,000. And this money stays in the bank to be spent on ADA standards in our 8 restrooms in this building. You can do this in executive session. Maybe our city attorney and head of manager of the department's utilities just might want to donate full amounts to the city, or sign an obligatory pledge to the city to be deducted from his salary over the next 4 months. I want to lift and inspire all of you to do better. You have not updated the restrooms ADA standards since this building was built. You do not get to use the grandfather exemption because you did not give it to me. I installed handy bars in 1977. So what have you done in 46 years? Thank you.
Okay, for those that have entered, we're in public comment till about 7 o'clock. So you have an opportunity to speak on any item that's not on the agenda for up to 3 minutes. You can come and sign in here up front, or there's also comment cards in the back.
Only 3. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, I'll do it real, yeah, we can do it quick, yeah. Right over here, yep.
Skyler and Columbus, Nebraska, which are about 30, 40 miles south. So I've driven past my entire life. It's fairly common for me. Big trip. Yeah, there's a couple that come back, but then I think the past jump on that eight, suck it up in the lights. Yeah, pass system. Yeah. It's all lights and it takes 20 minutes just to get from up front of the interstate. It's just something like that. So 65. Well, 65 is some parts. I'm pretty sure. Do I have anybody else's pace? There's no the other road. There's not gonna be any gaps. rather soon. So it's only cheap. They say that they want high people to line big guys, but they've been saying for that you're gonna have to go to, so it's kind of to be determined on a lot of it. It's gonna happen when it happens. It's the department, board and everybody else are kind of, passing the paper around. Putting what they want on it. So
Okay, welcome everybody. The time is 7 o'clock. That concludes public comment, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll go ahead and open up the city council regular meeting. Again, the time is 7 o'clock. The Opens Meeting Act is posted on the rear wall next to the agendas. So at this time, we'll have roll call.
Please vote for roll call. Six council members are present, Mayor.
All right, next is mayor's comments. Tonight, would like to recognize 7 individuals who are celebrating years of service with the city of Fremont. First, we have Kenneth Mace, 5 years of service. Kenneth started with the Department of Utilities in 2019 as a water and sewer service worker. He transitioned to a wastewater plant operator in 2022. And as of 2023, Ken became a power plant operator. Trevor Litz, 5 years of service. Trevor started with the Department of Utilities in 2019 as a water and sewer service worker. Laura Harms, 15 years of service. Laura started with the city of Fremont in 2009 as our senior center director. And Mark Luther, 40 years of service. Mark started with the city of Fremont in 1984 as a tree worker 2. He was promoted to Parks Maintenance Supervisor in 1996, 40 years. And with us here today, we have 3 individuals. Rebecca Zagoda, 5 years of service. Rebecca started with the city of Fremont in 2019 as a part-time library aide. And then in 2023, she was promoted to Library Assistant 3. Rebecca, would you come up and accept your award for 5 years of service? Okay, and also with us here tonight is Dominic Savio, 10 years of service. Dominic started with the city of Fremont in 2014 as a police officer, and he was promoted to sergeant in 2020. Dominic, would you come forward, accept your 10 years of service recognition?
Congratulations.
And then finally, here tonight, we have Kurt Bodorf, 30 years of service. Kurt started with the city. Yeah, come on, Kurt.
Congratulations.
Kurt got up before I could give his title. He started the city of Fremont as a police officer in 1994, became sergeant in 1998. He was then promoted to lieutenant in 1999, and then in 2022, Kurt was promoted to captain. So let's give these 7 individuals, wow, what a commitment to the city. Round of applause. All right, we'll go ahead and move on in the agenda. We'll go to item 1 is a motion to adopt the current agenda for the March 26, 2024 regular meeting. Councilman Vaughn? Approve. Councilman Jensen,
I'll second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Next is appointments. Item 2 is move to consent to the mayor's appointment of Therese Hoyle to the Housing Agency Board to an unexpired term ending September 2025. I am pleased tonight to present Therese Hoyle to the Housing Agency Board. She was included some backup in the packet about her experience and willingness to serve. And so I'm glad she's willing to volunteer in this role. I would take any questions from the council on this. If there are none, I would take a motion. Councilman Sukram,
I'll make that motion.
Councilwoman Ganem,
I second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Moving on to item 3 is a motion to consent to the reappointment of David Pinkall by the mayor to the Civil Services Commission to a term ending in April 2030. I want to thank Mr. Pinkall for his dedicated service over the years to the Civil Service Commission and his willingness to be reappointed and continue to serve. Take any questions from the council. If there are none, I would take a motion to approve his reappointment. Councilman Von Baron,
So moved.
Councilwoman Ganem. Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
And then item 4 on the agenda, move to confirm the appointments of Colby Hevican, Cameron Kuda, Larry Hawkins, and Christian Durkach as firefighter EMTs per the mayor recommendation. Really pleased tonight to bring forward these 4 individuals to join the Fremont Fire Department. They have completed all the necessary experience and education requirements and civil service process. So very excited to be able to bring them forward for your appointment tonight. Is there any questions from the council? If they're not, I'd take a motion. Councilman Sukram,
I'll make that motion to confirm.
Councilman Jensen,
I will second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Very good. We have Colby Hevican, Cameron Kuda, and Larry Hawkins that are here. Let's give them a round of applause and welcome them. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, we'll go ahead and continue on the agenda. We'll move on to the consent agenda. All items in the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council, will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or a citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda by council or staff? Councilman Jensen.
No, that's a mistake.
Okay. Councilman Von Baron.
Yeah, just questions 18, 19, those look like almost one and the same. And a question on number 26.
Okay. Councilman Sukram.
Just number 20.
Okay. Any items from the public to be removed? Okay, seeing no other items, I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda 5 through 16, or 5 through 17, 21 through 25. Councilman Sukram.
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Jensen. Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Moving on to item 18 is resolution 2024-071, authorizing the mayor to sign the purple ribbon city property damage release, damage on or near North Colorado and Iowa Street. I have a report.
Troy Shaven, Assistant General Manager, Utilities. 18 and 19 are both have to do with an accident where company hit a fire hydrant and the damage was done. We had to replace fire hydrants and valving. In that process, we had to take out some concrete. So there were bills on the city side and on the utility side. So 18 is, I apologize, I think that's the city side. And then the next item will be for the utility side, but that's why they're separated, is because one is for city reimbursement, the other is for utility reimbursement. It's a release. The attorneys looked at it and was okay with it.
Any questions for staff? Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Seeing none, no one, other additional comments from council, I would take a motion. Councilman Jensen,
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2024-071.
Councilman Von Baron,
Second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Then item 19 is resolution 2024-072, authorizing the mayor to sign purple ribbon James Matt Garul utility property damage release, damage on or near North Colorado and Iowa Street. Anything else to add?
Troy Shaven, Assistant General Manager Utilities, the same thing. This is on the utility side to replace the hydrant, some valving and some underground work.
Any questions for Mr. Shaven? Okay. There's no other questions. I would take a motion. Councilman Von Baron,
I'd move to pass resolution 2024-072.
Councilman Sukram,
Second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Moving on to item 20 is resolution 2024-073, authorizing the mayor to sign the Nebraska Farmers Mutual Reinsurance Association, Jack Aspey, utility property damage release, damage on or near 1839 County Road Q.
And still Troy Shaven, Assistant General Manager Utilities. This is very similar. It was a property owner outside the city limits, but where we have utility lines hit a line and we had to go out. It dropped the line. We had to go out and do some repair work on the line and some pole work also.
Any questions for Mr. Shaben on this item? Okay. Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay, if there's no other comments from council, I would take a motion. Councilman Sukram,
I'll make a motion on resolution 2024-073.
Councilman Jensen,
I'll second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Thank you.
Item 26 is resolution 2024-079 to vacate existing easement and accept new easements for lots 1 and 2 Morningside Crossing 3. I'll have a staff report from Jennifer Dam, our planning director.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, Jennifer Dam, Planning Director. This is a request to vacate easements around one lot and to add easements in an area that will become a future lot. The purpose of this is to facilitate platting of the area. There are mixed ownership. So we have an administrative plat. We cannot accept easements via an administrative plat. They're submitting the easements ahead of time. There's a time crunch. So by accepting the easements and vacating the other, we can do that plat. Then the 2 ownerships of 2 of the lots will sell it to a developer who will combine it into 1 lot. And then we'll have a complete plat with 2 lots.
Okay.
Answer any questions?
Questions from the council? Thank you. Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Seeing none, any additional comments from council on this item? Councilman Jensen,
If there's no additional comment, I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2024-079.
Councilman Dinkins,
I'll second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Moving on to new business, it's item 27, ordinance 5671 for approval of the utility salary ordinance. There is a request to suspend rules and move to final reading. We'll have a staff report from our utility general manager, Jeff Shanahan.
Mayor, City Council, Jeff Shanahan, Utility Manager. In this requested ordinance, we're doing a few things. When one of our departments, we have an opening or something like that, which we did with the utility distribution superintendent, we look at how the department is organized. And currently there's two departments. There's the engineering department and the distribution department. We would like to put that under one person so that there's coordination between engineering and distribution when they're constructing those kind of projects. So we're proposing that we eliminate, I think, the director of electrical engineering and the assistant director of electrical engineering, create positions called director of transmission and distribution and assistant director of transmission and distribution. Then engineering and distribution will all roll up through that person or those people. And that will allow our distribution superintendent to focus a lot of his attention on safety and training of the line crews. We've lost a tremendous amount of line crew experience, and we really need to bring the guys up to speed. And we have a distribution superintendent that we just hired that's well equipped to do that. And we're excited to have him start working on that. So that's one of the proposals. The other thing is we currently have multiple departments doing locates around town, and we get a whole bunch of locates for fibers going in, all kinds of stuff like that. So what we've proposed to do is each department, the gas department, the sewer collection department, the water distribution department, and the electrical department have all allocated one person from each of their departments. And we're going to slot those in as utility locators. So they will be assigned to locate the majority of the 811 calls. And that'll relieve some of the pressure from the current workers, and they'll be able to go out and do their other jobs in maintaining the system, doing calibrations, checking equipment, and that kind of thing. So that was the other thing we looked at doing. And then the last thing is requesting that we raise the like our temporary workers up $2 so we can recruit some intern line workers for the summer help, and that'll get us closer to where we're having to compete against the other utilities in the area. So those are the three things we're asking to be done in this ordinance.
Thank you for that report. Any questions for Mr. Shanahan?
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Any comments from the council on this? If there are none, I would take a motion. Councilman Vaughn.
Motion to approve and hold first reading.
Councilman Von Baron.
I'll second that.
Cast your votes, hold first reading.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Will not have first reading.
An ordinance of the city of Fremont, Nebraska pertaining to pay plan for officers and employees, repealing ordinance number 5668 and all other ordinances, parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for publication in pamphlet form and providing an effective date on first reading.
Councilman Jensen.
I'll make the motion to suspend the rules and move ordinance 5671 to the third and final reading at this time.
Councilman Vaughn.
I will second.
Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Now have final reading.
An ordinance of the city of Fremont, Nebraska pertaining to pay plan for officers and employees, repealing ordinance number 5668 and all other ordinances, parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for publication in pamphlet form and providing an effective date on final reading.
Cast your final vote.
Ordinance is approved 6-0, Mayor.
Moving on to item 28 is ordinance 5672 for approval of the government salary ordinance. There is a request to suspend the rules and move this to final reading. I'll have staff report Jennifer McDuffie.
Good evening, Jennifer McDuffie, Director of Human Resources. This is the salary ordinance for the city side. We have several changes. As Mr. Shanahan explained, when we have openings, we try to evaluate how we can do things better or better serve our needs going forward. Some things we have identified is we do currently have an office associate position on the second floor that we feel can be better utilized assisting with our grants as well. So we would like to reclassify that position as a grant assistant position. We've also had some staffing changes in the police department. And in looking at our current needs and our future needs, we are recommending to reclassify one of the captain positions as a deputy chief to better prepare for future leadership needs. And then also, again, the summer temporary classifications, we are very close to the minimum wage. And we'll need to make a change in January regardless when that goes up. However, to help with our summer hiring needs, we are recommending an increase to the minimum and maximums of those positions by $1.50 an hour. I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions? Okay. Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Comments from the council on this? Councilman Jensen?
If there's no further comment, I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 5672.
Councilman Sukram?
I'll second.
Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Now first reading.
An ordinance of the city of Fremont, Nebraska pertaining to pay plan for officers and employees, repealing ordinance number 5669 and all other ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for publication in pamphlet form and providing for an effective date on first reading.
Councilman Von Baron.
There are no further comments. I'd make a motion to suspend the rules and move to the third and final reading of ordinance 5672.
Councilman Jensen?
I'll second.
Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Now have final reading.
An ordinance of the city of Fremont, Nebraska pertaining to pay plan for officers and employees, repealing ordinance number 5669 and all other ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for publication in pamphlet form and providing for an effective date on final reading.
Cast your final vote.
Ordinance is approved 6-0, Mayor.
Item 29 is resolution 2024-080, conditional approval of Magnolia Estates preliminary plat.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, Jennifer Dam, Planning Director. The next three items are all related. This first one is the preliminary plat for Magnolia Estates. It creates 10 residential lots and 1 outlot. The northern residential lots will be ultimately used to provide affordable housing duplexes. And at some point in the future, that lot 11, which is the outlot, will be developed to provide additional housing. That's not scheduled at this point in time. It's just the northern lots. We do have some conditions of approval. Of course, we want to make sure that the subdivision agreement is approved. They have provided us already with the flood study and base flood elevations. And they have shown on the plats relinquishment to East 29th Street and North Yeager Road. And then finally, we just need approval of the waiver to install gas services. This will be an all-electric subdivision. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Councilman Sukram.
Yeah, Jennifer, I just noticed the conditions of approval. So they've done some of these already, or they're in the middle of doing?
Yes, they have provided us with these documents between the time that the Planning Commission submitted the conditions or approved it with conditions and are moving forward now. I would still hope that you would approve it with the conditions of approval because that'll just designate that we are requiring that those items
So,
be
so
included
like
on the
item
plat.
3 has been, Jaeger Road's it's been relinquished.
It will be on the plat, but
Okay.
I would still like
Okay.
those conditions to be in the resolution.
Okay, I was just curious how far it had gone along before we pass it forward, So, thank you.
Yeah, they're in the process of making all of those changes. They've submitted them online. We just don't have the final documents yet.
Okay, and the other thing was there any, anything with fire and police where
No,
we talked to them?
we did.
Okay, and they were okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Pardon? Yeah, we added the turnaround at
Okay,
the south end of the
okay.
residential development.
Hopefully, when we do more of these housing, I hope we can add that in for the fire and police. That way we just make sure that's covered.
Sure.
Thank you.
Councilman Von Baeren.
Just for clarification, sometimes between the ears and the speakers, I just need to clarify. So you're saying that these 4 conditions of approval are substantially met?
Correct. We've received email correspondence that they have basically met the conditions. We want to make sure that the final documents contain them, so we would ask that you include those with the resolution.
So there's no question that they will be met?
That's correct.
Okay, because I was a little puzzled by seeing this one come through like this, and I talked to several members of the planning commission. And it was their understanding that as they voted it forward, it would be with the condition that these would all be met by the
Yep.
time it got to council. So I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Any additional comments from council? If there are none, I would take a motion this to approve resolution 2024-080, conditional approval of the Magnolia Estates preliminary plat. Councilman Sukram.
I'll make that motion for resolution 2024-080 of conditional approval.
Councilman Jensen.
And I will second.
Okay, cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Then item 30 is resolution 2024-081, conditional approval of the Magnolia Estates final plat.
Good evening again, Jennifer Dam, Planning Director. This is the final plat, which is essentially identical to the preliminary plat, has the same conditions of approval with it. And again, they are substantially complete. We just don't have the final documents yet.
Okay. Are there any additional questions on the plat? Councilman Jensen.
So just to be clear, I'll say, it says in here, conditional approval. So that means these conditions will have to be made before this goes forward.
Correct. Before it
just-
gets filed with the Register of Deeds, these need to be met.
Just stating it publicly. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from council at this point? Okay, anybody here to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'd take a motion from council if there's no other comments. Councilman Sukram.
I'll make a motion on resolution 2024-081, conditional approval.
Councilwoman Ganem.
Second.
Cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Item 31 is to approve resolution 2024-082 Magnolia Estates Addition Subdivision Agreement.
Good evening again, Jennifer Dam, Planning Director. This is the subdivision agreement that goes with the final plat. It stipulates what the developer is responsible for, what the city will provide. It's pretty much our standard agreement. Everybody has signed it. And I would be willing to try to answer any questions and probably forward them to Travis.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments on the subdivision agreement from council? Okay. Anybody here to speak on this item? Okay. Are there any other comments from council? If there are none, I would take a motion. Councilman Vaughn,
Motion to approve.
Councilman Jensen,
Second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
Councilman Jensen,
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Councilman Sukram,
I'll second.
cast your votes.
Motion carries 6-0, Mayor.
We are adjourned.